All right, Module 8, Leading with a Moral Compass. So, what is a moral compass? A moral compass is a guide that can be used when in difficult situations. Our moral compass defines our character, which then determines how people will choose to interact with us. Typically, our moral compass is grounded with 3 to 5 core values such as integrity, family, fairness, personal responsibility, kindness, and so on and so forth. One of the things that really stuck out to me in the articles was how they talked about not everybody's moral compass is going to point in the same direction as far as right or wrong. Our beliefs and our moral compass are going to be different, and because they are different, which means that maybe some people's definitions of right or wrong will be different based on the values that they have. Why is it important to have a moral compass? Moral compasses ground our identity. It protects the greater good. It increases self-confidence because we know what our values are and we are solid and sound with those. It makes us a better role model because we're able to kind of guide others into living a life following a moral compass. And it fosters healthy relationships. They say people who have a strong and sound moral compass have healthier and more positive relationships. As aspiring future educational leaders, we have a moral obligation to set the tone for what we do. And as a school setting, we have the obligation to set the tone for what our school stands for. And a sound moral compass can help strike the right balance between reason and emotion. Another article talked about finding a true north. This one was really significant because I think as educational leaders, we must find a true north. Finding a true north means having your heart in the right place and living a life with integrity. It means following the golden rule of just treating the others the way you want to be treated. Finding a true north, that means that your actions are consistent with the characteristics of honesty, empathy, respectfulness, integrity, responsibility. And lastly, probably one of the most significant is just embrace treating others as equals. So regardless of the differences or diversities that you come in contact with people, you're treating them as equals. I think as educational leaders, we're going to experience a lot of diversity with the people that we work with, the students that we are going to be serving. So just embracing them and treating them as equals is extremely significant. When your moral compass is headed true north, you will know you're on the right path to ethical decision making. Educators have a responsibility to build a moral society. We are called to improve the lives of others regardless of their differences. We must find and know our true north so we can guide the development of others. Research on citizenship education. One of the articles talked about citizenship education being a way of kind of maturing the morals of young people. So it was in South Africa, there was a lot of crime, violence, and a lot of migration of people coming into the country, and which caused a lot of controversy because not everybody was on the same page in regards to their morals and their values. So, and it talked about how citizenship education might contribute to the moral maturity of the upcoming generations and thereby to their personal integrity. The ability of applying one's basic values to your decision-making process that enables you to live in a way that allows your personality to be expressed in what you do. So they thought about putting citizenship education into a school setting where students are being taught those strong morals and to develop their moral compasses. So my connection and takeaway from this article was in order for educators to fulfill their mission to make sure that every student succeeds to the best of their ability, there needs to be a heightened awareness of the diversities that they serve. Educators can be powerful advocates for social justice and education for all. What matters most in situations where one has to deal with diversity, injustice, and social inequality is that a person should be secure in his or her own identity, firm in their own faith as a prerequisite for respectfully connecting with the different other. So just making sure you know your values, you appreciate diversities, and that you celebrate them as much as you possibly can. Another article, or another takeaway, which was super interesting, was from the article that talked about shortcomings of empathy. I had no idea there was so much controversy over the definition of the word empathy. To me, empathy is imagining yourself in someone else's shoes. The articles talked about how this skill is important to have a moral insight. However, it limits the understanding of the person that you're trying to empathize with. Our understanding of a person is never definite, is what the article said, that person is dynamic and they're constantly changing. And as educators, we should always be seeking understanding of the other by, they use the word, visiting the other and allowing for continued appearance, and not diminishing the other by receding to and settling on familiarity and sameness. They use that word sameness to talk about how it's a dangerous word, or a dangerous kind of process of getting stagnant with somebody. So we have this stagnant narrative in our head about who a person might be, but yet that person is changing their dynamic, and we need to continually be trying to understand them. And we have a responsibility as educators to, they use this word worldliness. And they said that understanding the world from multiple perspectives, we as educators should inspire students to travel and visit other places and other cultures, because the more worldliness that a student has, the more they're going to be able to relate to more people and understand and empathize with more people. So they said that worldliness supersedes empathy, which merely calls for experience the world from the perspective of a single other by looking inward and reflecting on one's own experiences. This worldliness, it's more than just looking at a single person. It's understanding all different cultures, all different backgrounds, all different diversities to better understand a person. So I thought that was a really unique kind of concept of the word empathy. The last thing that we were asked to do was to create a moral compass of our own. And these 4 values, I feel like, definitely would be on my moral compass: integrity, kindness, responsibility, and family. One thing that the article said was, that stuck out with me, is not only having our moral compass, that's important, right? Knowing what your values are, knowing what your core beliefs are, but we also have to have the courage to integrate these within our actions. So they talked a lot about, like, you have a moral compass, but sometimes we don't choose to follow our moral compass. And there was different reasons why we might not do that, but we need to have the courage to follow our moral compass, because it is what guides us in doing what we ought to do. Maybe not what we want to do or what others want us to do, but it's going to guide us into doing what we ought to do, which I thought that was significant. So yes, this is my moral compass, but this moral compass is insignificant if I don't have the courage to follow through with my moral values and my moral compass. But if I do, it will allow me to make ethical decisions. Lastly, this is the addendum for the module. The resources provided a in-depth analysis over the concept of a moral compass. It talked about the different qualities, values, and beliefs that constitute a sound moral compass. And it also talked about why a moral compass is crucial for educational leaders. The relevancy for the assignment itself, the presentation that I'm presenting, this was a great opportunity for me to articulate my values and beliefs. It also was a great opportunity for me to kind of redefine some ideas that I had about morality, especially with the word empathy. I thought that was a really significant article. Lastly, just a personal connection that I have for this assignment. I wrote, as an aspiring educational leader, I have a moral obligation to set the tone for what our school stands for. I took several significant statements away from this module, such as people over processes, respect individual dignity, treat everybody fairly, be honest, don't approach the line in the sand, stay far away from it, and many more. But my favorite quote, though, was from Shidu. And it says, if you expect to be a leader, your life is no longer your business. It becomes the life of other people to know. This assignment helped me put those pieces together for my moral compass, because I know that I will be critiqued as a leader. And my moral compass will be used to guide all decisions that I make as an educational leader. So overall, this was a very significant assignment, very significant module, and I definitely see the connection of moral compass with being an educational